Well, good morning from the Premier Inn, Cathedral Quarter in Belfast. And as you can see, the view from the window today is rather grubby and not really much to see out there. But overall, it was quite a good night's sleep again. I always enjoy these Premier Inns and the beds are comfortable. So we'll head out and get some breakfast.
Today I'm going to be showing you how to take a transfer to Belfast International Airport before I fly down to London. First of all though, I must tuck in to the obligatory McDonald's breakfast, today with double sausage and egg, McMuffin and a hash brown of course, and a cafe latte, all for the good price of £5.99. Included in the price you even get this amazing view of central Belfast. But alas, I don't get long, and it's time to look for the bus to the international airport. Passing along the way somewhere much more sophisticated for breakfast, the Ivy, on the way to the City Hall. With that, welcome to Carl's Travel Channel, where every journey costs less than £200. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. And always remember, the nearest exit may be behind you. The City Hall here acts as a good central reference point to find your way around the city. Just to the right over here is a myriad of bus and tourist bus stands. And please remember to like and subscribe. It really does make a difference. You can also now follow me on Instagram at Carl's Travel Channel. As we track further on, you'll see the large Grand Central Hotel poking out there, and there it is. Head towards this as you journey towards the station. It's a huge building and not easy to miss. And then continue past two of Belfast's old school famous attractions, the Ulster Hall and the Crown Bar. This is a classic old Wild West looking saloon. Refurbished just a few years ago in 1885, it's a classic Victorian gin palace. A Grade A listed building, it's one of Belfast's most famous attractions, and inside has the old school type pub booths. A look here at the menu so you can see the pricing and what's on offer. The large Europa Hotel is opposite, and next door to that, Belfast's Grand Opera House. To reach Grand Central, walk directly in between the Opera House and the Europa Hotel. And soon enough I reached the rather incomplete entrance to Belfast's Grand Central Station. You certainly could be forgiven for thinking that it's not been completed yet. The station actually opened 4 bus services on the 8th of September 2024, and train services followed a month later in October. But it really is a large building for the number of services offered. I've been looking forward to visiting this station for a while, as it's one of those large mega projects well talked about in the media.
Well, good morning again, and here we are at Belfast Grand Central Station. When I last came here, the station didn't even exist. It was fully under construction, but now it's, well, mostly finished. As you can see, there's still quite a lot of building work around the edges here. But from here is where the trains leave from, and also there's a large bus station here where the buses from the airport go to. So we'll head inside and check it out.
And welcome inside this giant departure hall, where we are greeted by this nice, snazzy big LED screen showing the dual bus and rail departures. Right in the middle is the ticket machine, so I'll buy my ticket now to the airport. Which of course is very temperamental.
Choose from popular
Please enter your booking reference
search
number.
for another destination.
Oh dear, it looks like it has to be booted into life. So we'll select now the tickets. Belfast
Choose
Grand
from
Central
popular
to Belfast
destinations
International
or search for
Airport.
another
And here we are, £9 single.
Please select payment type. Present or insert your credit or debit card to pay.
Well, I've succeeded and made a new friend with the machine. Now I'll look around this gargantuan departure hall. Let's take the escalator upstairs for an overview, and you can see down there the bus stands where we will be departing from. Up here is a Brewdog, if it still exists, as the chain was in some financial trouble recently, so I don't know if they closed this branch or not. Maybe you can let me know in the comments below.
Well, it looks like there's a second deck up here in the station, but alas, the only thing I can really see up here so far is a Brewdog, and the rest of it is all empty units.
Downstairs there is a Pret coffee store. Sadly, I don't have long, so I'm now at my bus stand number 10 to Aldergrove, which for those who don't know is the old name for the international airport. And she arrives already, service 300A. Boarding was nice and easy, and I take my favourite seat, of course, up at the front. A TransLink Goldliner is moored up next to us. Oh, sorry, that's a nautical term. And so, here we go. I wish we had bus stations like this in London. And it looks like the TransLink Goldliner is copying and following us. One important thing to point out before taking this bus is make sure that your flight is from Belfast International Airport, because there is also a Belfast City Airport as well, so double check. That airport is much closer to the city centre. Just like at an airport, there are even marshals here to guide you out of the gates. I think one future thing to remember for filming is to bring a pair of windscreen wipers for me to give the bus a good clean before I get on. One final view of the bus station as we increase to warp speed on our way. And a lovely, albeit very wet view of the rear of Belfast's Grand Central Station. You can see the trains all docked in there. As we begin to head out onto the open road, a little more about the fares, which as at the time of making this video, they've already gone up by 50p, and it's £9.50 now for a single, or it's slightly cheaper at £13.50 if you buy a 1 month return. So definitely go for that option if you are planning to come back. You can also, if you prefer technology, buy tickets on the M-Link app, which, not being a local, I do not have. And well, maybe I'm just old-fashioned and enjoy using the machines. The bus then loops back past the station for another view of the trains as we make another couple of stops in the city centre. Being such a huge distance to Belfast International Airport, the bus then heads out onto the open motorway heading northwest. The distance from Grand Central to the International Airport is a whopping 16 miles. Moving on now for a little bit about the service timetables. Well, especially during Monday to Friday, the service runs every 20 minutes, so it's very convenient. And the journey time to the airport, it takes 40 minutes. A handy little PDF file here is available on their website to show the full schedule, and as you can see, they even run an all-night service with buses running once an hour through the twilight hours. To my horror, I then discovered a very large problem about my flight ticket back to London. Really unusually for me, because I'm normally very well organised with these things, I had forgot to check in online because I'd purchased a seat and just had in my mind that I'd already done it. So I rushed on to the EasyJet app to check in, and phew, check-in was still open up to around 2 hours before departure, and I had around 45 minutes or an hour to go. But sadly, my happiness was short-lived as I received this error message when I pressed the check-in button. I tried to check in on the app multiple times, but alas, all with the same result. So now, in complete panic, I had to wait until I reached the airport. Now I know from much talk online that if you miss your check-in with Ryanair, you get charged about a £60 or £70 fee to check in at the airport, so this was my main concern. Anyhow, for now, we pull into one of our only en route stops on this bus route here at the Park and Ride, or the Temple Patrick Park and Ride. I'm not entirely sure if this is used by people who are going into Belfast city centre or for people to get to the airport, or both even. Maybe you could let me know in the comments below. We don't hang around here long and we swing back out very promptly. With myself still in a major state of panic about not having a boarding pass, I'll update you when we get to the airport about what happens. Let's find out. A nice countryside rural section here where there are a few airport hotels located, and one final small roadside stop in Temple Patrick village. After a final nice stretch of countryside, we swing in to Belfast International Airport, or the old Aldergrove Airport as it used to be known. You can spy a few EasyJets here on the approach road as we come in. I wonder if I will make it on board mine. what else to say in this exact section, so I'm just going to talk aimlessly, because if I stop talking, you stop watching the video. You have to listen to commentary constantly. I really wish sometimes these videos were easier to make. A video that takes around 1 hour to film takes about 4 or 5 days to edit. Anyhow, thank heavens for that, we've arrived with plenty of time to spare. The airport only has one terminal, so this is nice and easy to navigate and find your flight, although it has been extended a few times in the past few years. Well, we're in through the myriad of taxi ranks and drop-off stands. You can clearly see here the bus stands for departures at the airport terminal. Some trolleys are oddly located a little bit further back there. Off the bus here at the stop, and the departure entrance is right ahead. Time now to find out what happens with my ticket. As you may be able to see, there is a beer on the table, which, yes, I'm gulping down fast. Well, the good news is I have a paper boarding pass, and the even better news is it was free, as unlike Ryanair, EasyJet do not charge a fee at the airport to check in. However, I did get a lecture from the guy at the check-in desk that EasyJet do actually oversell flights, and I could easily have been bumped off by not checking in early enough. Something for you to remember for future trips. Fortunately, this bar has lots of plugs and sockets available to charge your devices. It's then time to board my plane through this classic old school section of the terminal. After not too long a wait in the gate area, we're out to one of my favourite parts of the air travel experience, walking out on the tarmac to the plane. And this is something that you never get on British Airways, because they always make you board down one of those ghastly boarding bridge things. But this way you get all the sights and smells of the airport, which adds to the whole feeling of that excitement of flying. Though this one is certainly a bit of a walk. A few extra sets of air stairs here, and a tug waiting there to push us back out of the gate. My first view of today's aircraft, an Airbus A320-200 series, which is 9 years old at the present date. I'm sitting further back, so boarding is via the rear air stairs. To the right you can see the various cargo aircraft parked.
We have a customer on board who has a severe nut allergy. To keep them safe, please don't open or eat anything containing nuts. If you have any questions, please ask.
I've had this announcement a few times on flights in the past. A quick look at the legroom, or rather the lack of it, before we head off. One of the few things I do, however, prefer on EasyJet over Ryanair are the seat back pockets.
The estimated time of arrival and the latest weather in Stansted. For now, I would like to invite you all to sit back, relax, enjoy the flight, and thank you for choosing to fly with EasyJet.
Whilst we trundle out to the runway, let's have a look here through EasyJet's in-flight menu, which contains the items you can purchase on board, including duty-free, and of course the items from the cafe.
For your safety, if there's anything you need, please do ask. When I demonstrate the safety features of this Airbus A320, you're attended.
Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take a life jacket from under.
We depart from the gate area past a row of West Atlantic Airlines Boeing 737 cargo aircraft, beginning our slow trundle out to the runway. We then pass over the much smaller crosswind runway 17, which is too small really for large airliners to take off or land on. Today's fare was an amazingly low £14.99 for the ticket, with no luggage of course, and the window seat was £7.49 extra. I booked and paid for this around 2 months prior to departure, just to give you a gauge of the pricing. And on my date, EasyJet was the cheapest airline, but this varies from day to day. There is a massive choice of airlines on this route from Belfast to London. You've got British Airways who fly to Heathrow and London City airports. EasyJet do Gatwick, Luton and Stansted, and Ryanair Stansted only. Ryanair and EasyJet of course work out much cheaper than flying with British Airways. Over in the distance there I can spy the nose of a Trident. We make the final turn to line up on runway 07. We're now ready for takeoff, so sit back and relax and enjoy the flight. But because I know you really don't like plane journeys, if you skip ahead 2 minutes, then you can miss this entire section out, because I won't be doing commentary through it. Through the mist and the rain, we crossed the M11 down into London's Stansted Airport. And as you can see a bit of light chop on landing, I'll let you sit back and enjoy the landing in silence. Well, sort of silence. Some other passengers were rabbiting on and on and on. A bit like me, really. We're down on the tarmac. Briskly taking one of the high-speed exits off the runway.
Welcome to Stansted. For your continued safety, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the captain has switched off the fasten seatbelt sign, as you may have to stop suddenly while taxiing to the terminal. Mobile phones and portable electronic equipment within reach may not be used, however smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. When leaving the aircraft, please ensure you take all personal belongings with you, checking underneath the seat in front in the seat pocket, and take care when opening the overhead lockers in case anything has moved during the flight and can fall out. Finally, on behalf of the captain and the entire crew, I'd like to thank you for choosing the EasyJet and wish you a safe and pleasant onward journey to your final destination. Once again, thank you and good afternoon.
EasyJet passes us, a new low-cost carrier on its way to Turkey. We trundle in past the main Stansted terminals, so you can see the various array of aircraft there. There's a China Southern 777 and DHL over at the cargo facility, and the various offering of Jet 2 aircraft off to their holiday destinations. And the lighter blue Jet 2 charter style livery. Package holidays you can trust. I feel like singing the Jet 2 jingle, but I think I'll spare you of that today. Another EasyJet passes us heading out. We then make a final left-hand swing onto our stand. You can see Stansted's terminal monorail there in the distance.
Cabin crew, thanks very much. Disarm doors for arrival.
And that's it, we're mooring up to the gate at London Stansted Airport. Boarding bridges are rarely used here, so we're off by bus. As you'll hear in a moment, it's certainly loud, walking around on the tarmac, but I do love that airport atmosphere. In the airport was lovely and quick, and no immigration of course, because it's a domestic flight.
Well, I made it here to Stansted Airport train station, and the train is at 4:27. Really record time.
And yes, I actually did say that. I'm taking a train instead of the coach. A Class 745 Flirt. Yes, that's it, really, its name. So let's see how flirtatious it is inside. Seatback tray tables are provided at every seat, and there was a fair amount of legroom, although not brilliant. Anyhow, we're off, so here we go.
Welcome to this service for London Liverpool Street. We will be calling at Bishop Stortford, Tottenham Hale, and London Liverpool Street. The next stop will be Bishop Stortford.
As we literally crawl at a snail's pace out of Stansted Airport, so much for it being an express, Bishop Stortford is quite important in the ticketing I used for this journey. Because as a little money-saving tip, I used the Split My Fare app. Emerging from the bushes is Stansted's tall airport control tower. The average cost of a single ticket from Stansted Airport to central London was around £20 plus. But using the Split My Fare app, I was able to get this down to £15, shaving a little off. Enjoying some nice beautiful countryside as we head to the city. And no, this video is not sponsored by Split My Fare or anybody else. All of the prices and commentary are purely my own thoughts and opinions. And if you're watching this video in 2 years' time, I hopefully expect the prices will have gone up a lot. We then pull into Bishop Stortford railway station itself, and one important thing to point out with the Split My Fare app or split tickets is you do not need to get off the train at the station where your ticket splits at. The train simply just needs to call there. Another Flirt passes us in the opposite direction.
We'll be calling at Tottenham Hale and London Liverpool Street.
And on that note, yes, we did stop at Bishop Stortford, but it was 2 video segments joined together. They certainly like a lot of announcements on these trains.
If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text the British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it. See it, say it, sort it.
However, if you're looking for a cheaper way to get from Stansted Airport to London, you can also take the National Express or the Flibco coach services. I've made separate videos about these on my channel, which you can find on my channel pages. We pass through Northumberland Park Station back into the wall of London suburbia, pulling in to arrive only a few minutes late here at Tottenham Hale Station. This provides, as I discovered, a not-so-seamless connection to the Victoria line, as I got lost.
Stansted Express service to Stansted Airport. Calling at Cheshunt, Harlow Town, Bishop Stortford.
I got a bit confused and lost due to the strange signage. Anyhow, I make it down onto the Victoria line tube platforms. And in 15 minutes or so, back at Oxford Circus in central London. With that, thank you for watching Carl's Travel Channel. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you, of course, on the next one.